I'm Dave the Head. Joining me today is Bob.
Hi, I'm
You,
Bob.
you may recognize Bob from some videos such as Rage Quit Radio and Ladia's Plays Blood Bowl. He's joined us a few times, and now he's going to make his 8-star anime
Debut.
And he said, hey man, let's watch Godzilla on Netflix because it's anime and it's Godzilla. And I'm like, well, shit, that's a good idea.
Godzilla.
So we watched Gojira.
Yes.
Synopsis of the story is it's 20XX. Doesn't really kind of go into when. I think the last summer of the 21st century, they said.
Yeah. Roughly.
Monsters show up, start trashing the planet. If you've ever seen Pacific Rim, it's a little bit like that. Only the humans aren't doing a really good job of protecting themselves.
There was a giant praying mantis. It's pretty dope.
I did see that.
That was pretty cool.
Bombed the piss out of places that didn't do anything to the monsters. You know how it goes. So that also leads to the people making a mass exodus from Earth. Because F it. Oh! Space elves.
Yeah, there was some space elves. Or can we call them spells?
You can.
Okay. I'll just call them Spocks.
Whoa.
I knew that would get to you.
Yeah, that gets to
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, realistically, they were like pointy-ear Lucius Malfoys, only not a dick.
That's actually a pretty accurate
They were pretty.
summary.
So pretty.
They were gorgeous.
And very androgynous.
I like the hairstyles too.
Don't know if they're male or female. Didn't matter.
Seem very feminine.
But the other side of the coin is they brought Space Jesus with them.
Yeah, and
Well, Space God.
well,
So they offer to help, and in retaliation, you would learn about Space God, and it didn't help at all.
oh,
So everybody decided to leave the Earth, and we join a spaceship who's been traveling for 20-something years.
27. I think it's what it was?
22.
Something like that.
There's a point in the story where they say the number, and I think it's 22. We'll come to it in a minute.
We'll figure it out.
But they're out in space, rationing. Things are getting rough. Haven't found habitable planets because realistically, space is stupid huge. And you would think that if you had space elves joining you who've been traveling the cosmos for a couple thousand years, they'd be able to tell you some, like, I don't know, Alpha Centauri, the nearest star, wasn't habitable, and some other stuff.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, they got about 11 light years.
11.7.
So yeah,
To be very specific, 11.7 light years from Earth.
in their 20+ years.
With only about 8 years left of life
Resources.
support.
Yeah, resources.
Of if they rationed in half. So realistically, 4 of full rations.
So we join the story with Haru
Yes.
threatening to blow up a shuttle, which would have caused a whole lot of problem, because they've got volunteers to go down to a planet to see if it's habitable. And
Old people.
Everyone
Older
is 60
people.
plus years old.
Yeah. They were keeping it real. The old people they knew what was up.
So, as you can probably tell, there was a sacrifice, and Haru ends up in jail. And they end up deciding that they're not going to make it anywhere. That the chances of finding a habitable planet are something like 0.1%.
Pretty much near impossible.
In space, it is, anyways.
Space.
So they decide to, hey, maybe Earth is okay. Maybe we can go back to Earth. At the very worst, we can refuel with some oxygen and other things.
And so they run the wonderful giant mass amounts of calculations using 80% of their computing data for a while.
The space,
the big space computer,
space elves were using it for something.
For crunching numbers of if it's okay to go back to Earth and blah, blah, blah.
They get this mathematical equation that, due to relativity, that they're about 10,000 years ago they've left Earth.
Well, they said 1,000. They said that only about 1,000 Earth years have passed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and then
then 10,000.
Then they ended up showing up, and then they realized it was 10,000.
And then, so they do a jump. And don't want to go into too much more. Godzilla does make a couple appearances in this video, but realistically, this first episode, and it is just the first episode of 88 minutes, so it's probably going to be a few more stories, you know.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I enjoyed it, so I'm hoping to see some more. I gotta say, Godzilla's looking pretty good for being as old as he was, too.
They animated him amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But the real kicker here is 3 things I want to go into, and then if you have anything else to jump in. 1, they weren't gone for 10,000, more closer to 20,000.
Yep.
2, the Earth has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And they're not even sure they can survive on Earth. Other than gravity and air pressure, they don't even come out of their suits.
I mean, it did look fairly uninhabitable. Just to
lot of forests, and the forests for some reason were very, very hard. Like the fauna broke knives.
Yeah, it was just like, psst, and the knife just shattered. It was interesting.
And then number 3, Godzilla wasn't dead. So there's the crux. I don't really feel like this is a zombie Godzilla movie. I think more of it's a sci-fi movie, a space movie where
featuring Godzilla.
It just has Godzilla in it. They went away and come back, and it's been so much that Earth is now an alien planet. Yeah. I mean, it really needed Will Smith and Jaden.
Maybe some Tom Cruise, too. From that one movie that
Let's make all kinds of the references.
I forget what that movie was, but, you know, we need a little bit of Tom Cruise in there,
instead of 100, they dropped 600. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah, they did take in 2 companies.
I think they had 4 or 5. They had a couple of special forces. They had the artillery units. Then they had, like, a scouting unit.
Yeah.
They did some stuff.
But I think the scouting unit was 2 companies. That is correct. You were right.
What, is there anything about the movie? Is there a scene you like that just... let's... From this moment forward, there may be spoilers.
Honestly, just... The amount of Michael Bay explosions, but it's not even just the amount, it's the actual quality of the animation of the explosions, especially like that one scene where like half the forest just blows up and like you see it from the aerial view
because they're dropping the bombs, the deforestation ones.
So beautiful. It was gorgeous. Like just watch it just for that.
Yeah, I mean they Agent Orange that forest.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, it was Vietnam all over again on that one.
Was there something about the animation you didn't like?
To be honest, no. I really appreciate, like I said when we were watching it, I really appreciate the level of detail that they took as far as like each individual character, like all of the troopers and stuff, all of the people. Like it's not a cut and paste all the way through. Everybody was their own individual heights. Everybody had like their own characteristics of body size and everything. Like even in their suits. It wasn't like a stormtrooper battalion of everybody the exact same.
I'm
Everybody
sure
was different.
You could go there with some slow-mo and a fine-tooth comb and go, every 7th person. But it was very variety.
Yeah, it was very nice to have a nice refreshing view of everybody being different because a lot of animes you'll see a lot of cut and paste and it just bothers me.
Can't say enough about the way they animated Godzilla. Now, the purists, fans of Godzilla's who see him in video might have some faults with the way they interpreted him, but he is a cross between just dinosaur, bodybuilder, fossilized stonework of death.
He's going to be a lot like the most recent Godzilla movie where Bryan Cranston was in it.
I didn't see it.
Okay. The Godzilla looks a lot like that with being the big bulky, muscular Godzilla rather than the previous
sinews, tendons,
yeah,
eyeball looking.
It was like a better touched up animation version of that,
and it was sharp. Now the rest of the animation is good, and his animation's not so different from the rest of it. Like in the Dragonlance anime, what I liked it, but the dragons and the dragon men were computer graphics, while everything else was normal animated, and it was so shockingly weird that it made it very awkward and cumbersome.
Yeah.
That's what I liked most about it. What I didn't like most about it is Haru. Haru got on my damn nerves.
Yeah.
I get that you got angst. I get that you like the one chick driving the machine. Maybe in the middle of humanity's fight for survival's now not the time to just do classic anime tropes. And he's not a very sane individual.
No, he's I wouldn't even use the term headstrong. I would just use the term idiot. To me, he just acted like
he's
an
a gun
idiot.
jockey.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the kind of character who solves with, if we can't blow it up, let's double the explosives.
He didn't even double. He's like, let's quadruple this.
Well, he's like, let's use everyone we got. We only got one
went,
shot.
That dude just went all out. That's bad.
So what did you think about the story aspect of what they're trying to present here?
I'm extremely excited, honestly, to see where they continue to go with it. I really didn't know what to expect going into it.
Two of us.
As soon as it started, I was like, okay, so I didn't read anything about it. I didn't even read the little Netflix gives you that tiny little 5-sentence or not even that synopsis of it, and
we went into it like Perry Mason in 1954 Godzilla. We didn't know what was going on.
We just kind of jumped straight in. I saw it. We were sitting at work, and he said, "Hey, you want to come do this?" And I had mentioned, maybe watching something, and then I saw Godzilla, and I was like,
combine both.
I was like, let's do it. Why not? But just the fact that it's space, and I was like, okay, so we're gonna have a space Godzilla, and then I didn't really know exactly where it was gonna go from there, but they really incorporated that a lot better than I really expected them to, and the storyline of it was, in my opinion, very well written, and I
honestly find that part very. I think the word's contrite. I think that's the right word I want. They've created this story so they can get rid of all the other humans and it be just a group of people, Godzilla, let's see what happens. It's not bad, but it's kind of far-fetched. Like, there's this one point where they're exploring the Earth and they come across these fallen over buildings. And I'm like, 20,000 years? That's bullshit. And then, of course, one of the characters is like, oh, the moss fossilized and stuck in the form of the buildings. The buildings are way gone. This is just Mother Earth has taken a picture of us. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was...
Some of the things, the techno-babble's kind of fun, kind of annoying.
Yeah, but they kind of overdid it in some spots. Especially when they're talking about warp driving.
Yeah,
stuff.
We're going to use the engines at 170%.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
It took you 11 light years to get away, and it took you how long to get back? They don't really say.
In this animation style of it, 15 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the movie's concerned, it took like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little bit quick. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, if you're going to use 170% of your engine, number one, you're just going to blow the thing up. I don't care what it is. That's just insanely too much, but they managed to actually make it back directly right on top of Earth again, and still had power to go do everything they needed to.
There was a moment in the movie where there's a character, I think Leland, Colonel Leland, isn't that his name?
I'm really bad with names.
I'm sorry. Me too. The blonde-haired guy who was leading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah. Dude. So he kind of has this, we got to retreat, and there's a backup plan to colonize the moon and just use the Earth and for supplies, because
he was on top of it. He had his good plan.
I got to be honest with you. I think that should have been plan A.
I think that should have been plan A, and plan B would be to go attack Godzilla. But
by the way, they're going to go attack Godzilla.
You got to attack Godzilla.
Because it's a Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point? Because, I mean, he so far... There's not a Mothra or something for him to be fighting. I know that I keep using Mothra, with you, but I mean that's to me the best Godzilla.
There's even a mention of a Mecha Godzilla. It didn't work.
Yeah, that was kind of a
nice little nod.
They were trying to make a Mecha Godzilla, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not going well. Run away."
They just needed Jaguar, whatever his name is.
I was just waiting for
Jet Jaguar.
I was just waiting for Mecha Godzilla to just start storming and just destroying their moon base or whatever.
So let's go ahead and using our season 2 scoring system. How do you feel about the visuals and the audios, the tangibles of the anime?
And we did say it was going to be a 0 to 4.
Yes, 0 to 4.
I would say visuals, a good solid 4 from me.
Combine them.
Okay, well,
Okay, so 4 for...
4 for visuals, but as far as the actual... the sound was great, but the dialogue wasn't. So was dialogue going to be considered a part of sound?
Was there a problem with the way the dialogue was made, or was it a problem with the writing?
I would say that it would be a problem with the actual writing. As far as the actual dialogue and the delivery of the dialogue, I would give it a 3.5. So I'd say if are we allowed to do half numbers and stuff?
We try to stay away from them.
Okay. I would say...
So 3 or 4.
I would say I'd give it a solid 3 all around the board then.
Okay. I, too, am giving it a 3, but nowhere near as much as he is. Visually, there's a lot to like in the movie. There's a few things, especially in the beginning when they're in space and it's very drab gray. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be that way, but it's anime, and anime is usually supposed to be popping. It's supposed to catch your attention. I agree that the audio does what it needs to do. The sound bites of Godzilla's scream, they're cool, and they did them well. They put them in there just enough to remind you, this is a Godzilla movie.
They didn't overdo it, which is nice.
They're not banking on the nostalgia of it, but at the same time, they're not over compensating. So I give the visuals in this way a kind of a 3, and the audio I would give it a 3 as well. So mine evens out as that 3. The intangibles, what do you kind of take away from it would be the story and the enjoyment. So Haruma Bob.
Don't make fun of my crab man. I would say I'd honestly just come at it with a solid 3.
Yeah.
For that, yes. The story's pretty on point. But there's a lot left to be desired so far. But first part, episode 1. More episodes to come. Hopefully, I'm hoping for maybe 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
With how it's shaping up and how quickly things have progressed right now, I would be sad if it's only a 2-part thing.
Yeah,
at this moment. But if they do a 2-part, if they keep it at the pace it's going, I'd be all right with that. I can deal with it. But yeah,
I think the story takes some hits. He's given it a total of a 3 there. I think the story takes some hits. If it was in its own category, for me, the story would be a 2 only.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's potential, though. It's so much potential. But as a standalone movie, I think this one has some lacking. Enjoyment-wise, it's still Godzilla, and I enjoyed it. It's 3. It's not heavy-handed on the folly of man. Yeah. In this one, Godzilla is the villain. He has run people from Earth. Now, me personally...
Pretty well, too.
Me personally, I think I saw a person on the planet, but they didn't verify it.
Yeah, no, that was very
but the other side of the coin was there'd be a person 20,000 years. How would they have evolved differently, you know?
Well, I mean...
Especially living in a...
Underground?
Yeah. Morlock's great.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, what's the chance that you're going to get everybody off the planet?
The time machine.
Obviously didn't happen. I mean, we have subway systems and stuff like that. Could have just been underground. I don't know.
I want to give the intangibles a 3, but I'm going to give it a 2 because I want to judge this by itself, not its future. As part of a bigger story, I think it would probably rock more, but... so my 3 and 2 gives it a 5-star out of 8, and your 3 out of 3 gives it...
The 6.
Yes.
I would say that as you stated... You know, if you're gonna rate it as a 1-part thing,
as a standalone.
As a standalone. If you just kind of left it where it's at, I would very much agree with you on that. But I'm viewing it as a whole.
Yeah, as a hopeful.
And I'm viewing it as a very hopeful and delighted viewer on this. I'll keep the 3 on that. But as a standalone, I'd probably end up giving it a 2 as well.
But Bob and I both want to encourage you to check it out on Netflix. Not quite sure when this is going up. Probably in March. We'll see. But get on Netflix. Check out the Godzilla. Who knows if there'll be another one already by the time you see this. Give us some comments and feedback below. Tell us what you think. Give us some ideas what you think about the new scoring system. Giving things 0 to 2 became a little difficult. So we're going to try to make this... tangibles, intangibles. We probably talked about it in a previous video. And trying it out for size. Left foot, right foot.
Left foot, right foot.
Yeah, new shoe, new shoe.
I have 2 left feet. I can't dance.
No.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, Godzilla doesn't care. He's leading.
Okay. Well, I'll just stand on his feet.
Would you like to tell? Are you doing anything other than the Rage Quit Radio? Are you doing anything else on the interwebs, like the YouTubes, that maybe someone might want to drop by and take a look at?
I do streaming every once in a while.
Is that a Twitch?
Kind of get bored. Yeah, it's Twitch, but I'm kind of in between doing a computer setup right now of rebuilding, so I haven't been too much into it. I've just kind of been posting funny little clips and stuff onto my YouTube. You can check it out. It's Bob from Logistics, where I can get any package that you need, and I'll get it to your I get it, however you need it, truckload, whatever.
We'll get the producer Mike to put some links down below to link to your stuff.
Okay, that's fine.
Hope you join us back next week for 8-Star Anime.